Well, we've reached that final game of the season. Georgetown Hoyas and the DePaul Blue Demons, one final battle, senior day here in Washington, D.C. at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. So glad to have you with us for one final time. I'm Christian Taylor here with you. And these Hoyas are looking for just one more win this season. 10-32 overall, 1-22 in conference play. That lone conference win was a shutout against Providence. And DePaul, they had a win against Seton Hall earlier this year. And their other two conference wins coming yesterday in the doubleheader as they look to sweep the Georgetown Hoyas. But Sage Hager's going to try and throw another option out there for the Hoyas. She starts on senior day as the pitch is in for strike one to Bailey Cosgrove. First pitch at 11:56 a.m. Start time moved up. The entire weekend adjusted because of the potential weather coming in later tonight and tomorrow. And really this entire week as that spins out for ball one from Sage Hager. Cosgrove, the senior, batting .319 this season. 44 hits, 1 homer, 20 RBIs. The 1-1 looks at strike two. Cosgrove playing at second base today, the senior from Loda, Illinois. Paxton Buckley, Loda High School. The 1-2 coming. Hit into center. Turner, good beat on it. That's out number one. And now steps up Morgan Rogers, the center fielder. Rogers batting .276 this season in this two spot. 27 hits, 5 doubles, 3 homers. And the corners are in for the Georgetown defense. Pitch on the way, and it's a strike looking from Hager. Sage Hager, the grad student, San Mateo, California. This is outing number 28 of the season. She's been able to garner a 2-6 win-loss record this season. This one rolled back at Hager as she flips to first for the second out. And now it's the third batter, the DP, Lydia Edema, who had a big day yesterday. 2 hits in game one, had a home run in game two, 3 total RBIs in that second game. Hager delivers home, and that's ball one. Now here's how the starting lineup looks. This is the third batter in Edema. Fourth is Chelsea Parker. Fifth in Kelly Beaupre. Sixth, Addison Talbot in left. Carly Alvers is seventh at third base. Bibiana Rodriguez, eighth at short, and Zoe Levine is ninth behind the plate. Curls in for a strike. And so, yesterday's games. It's a 7-1 win for DePaul and a 4-2 win in games 1 and 2 here from the Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. DePaul got some good pitching yesterday. That's a foul ball. Game 1 saw a really, really good outing by the one who is starting pitching today in Bella Niji. Just 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts was an excellent performance by her. And she did appear in game 2 as well, as this one hit it short. Fenton to first, and Kozo lunging for it. 6-3 putout to conclude the first. 1-2-3 for Hager. We go to the home half. Hoya's up to bat on senior day for the first time. And Claire Turner leading off. Center fielder wearing number 12 for the Hoyas. First pitch on the way from Bella Nidji is in for a strike. So we mentioned before the end of that last inning what Nidji was able to do yesterday in game 1, but she had to start in game 2 as well. Had a strikeout in 3 innings, no runs. Really good work against the Hoyas. Kelly Green came in for an inning and a third. She got the win. And Ava Gusell, freshman from Downers Grove, Illinois, closed it all off as Turner swings and misses at strike 2. So it's head coach Liz Bojagelski who has thrown out Nidji to start all 3 games of this series, trying to get everything they can, looking to throw arguably and truly their best arm out there for one last run this year. The junior from Bettendorf, Iowa. One of a handful of Iowa products on this team. The 2-2 inside at the knees, moves it full. Nidji is appearing in her 25th game this season. Pitch on the way, and Turner just got a piece of it. A 3.55 ERA for her. Wind blowing out here to center field. Pitch on the way, grounded at short. It's Rodriguez. 1 out. So Nidji, that ERA, actually you can go a little bit better than a 3.55. It's a 3.28 for this overall season. She's thrown 4 complete games. This is appearance number 28 of the year. 109 innings hurled. With 77 strikeouts, it all leads the team by quite a bit. Brooke Rebhan, the batter. Popped up, third base side, and it's Alvers who secures the second out. And it brings up the third batter, Emily Strittmatter. Also run through the rest of this Hoyas batting order. Sammy Fenton is on deck, batting 4th. Holly Pardini, 5th as catcher. Abby Kozo is 6th over at first base. As there's a ball that rolls away. Naya Campos, 7th as the DP. Gabby Park, 8th in right, and Nina Sarlo, 9th in left field. That's how Coach Ross lines up for one final time this season. Hit at second base, jumping forward is Cosgrove. 1-2-3 as well from Nidji. And we go to the second inning, no score. DePaul bring up 4-5-6 for the second inning. Both pitchers going 1-2-3 in the first inning. Happy you're with us. I'm Christian Taylor. One final game of the season, senior day for these Hoyas. Julia Parker was honored yesterday, and she is not around today, so It is senior day for the rest of the crew, and that's ball one outside to Chelsea Parker. So Sage Hager, Avery Wismar, Abby Schiller, Kayla Dunn, and Sammy Fenton. That's 3 pitchers, by the way. Now, Coach Ross will need to try and reset in the offseason. A lot of different things, but certainly from the rubber, whether it be bringing in a youngster or getting a transfer in, headed first and foul. Of course, Coach Ross coaching against her former side. She came to Georgetown from DePaul, and it took the entire season to play off against them. And her former side getting the best of her in round 1 and 2. This time is called upon here behind the plate. Pardini just readjusting things. That'll give us a chance to read through the defense for the Hoyas with Hager inside the circle and Pardini behind the plate. First base is Abby Kozo. Second base, Brooke Rebhan. Third base, Emily Strittmatter. And shortstop, Sammy Fenton. It's a ball looked at, 2-1. Left field is Nina Sarlo. Center field, Claire Turner. And right field, Gabby Park. It's a loud DePaul dugout. That's how it's been all year long. Foul territory, racing over is the third baseman Strittmatter, and it bounces on the concourse. Make it 2-2. Parker on the campaign. Starting just her 9th game this season, but hitting .333. Has 12 hits. He's always given a pretty decent option out there. Called strike 3. Hager's first K of the day. Kelly Beaupre, the first baseman, who has seen a lot of success in her career. And is transferred into DePaul this season for just one final go, as she's reached the summit of her softball career, starting over at Dartmouth. Transferred over as a 2-time All-Ivy League selection, had an honorable mention, had a second team in her time with the Big Green. 1 ball and 1 strike to Beaupre, who's hitting .208 this year. She has only failed to see 2 games this season. Hager delivers the 1-1. Foul away, 1-2. DePaul are getting some swings down on this. Well, we mentioned 16-31 this overall season. First year for Coach Jagielski, as she looks to really establish something big here. This one off the second baseman's hand, and Rebhan, she can't recover in time. She had the positioning, but Beaupre ran it out. And that's the first base runner of the game. They call that a hit for Beaupre. Of course, Coach Jagielski was part of this DePaul team really in the heyday. Back in the late 90s, this DePaul team saw a College World Series and saw them advance pretty deep. That tournament there in '99, that was the year before Coach Jagielski made her way over and started her collegiate career. But that was a team that hadn't scored more than 2 runs in any game in that entire College World Series. But they had won a few games by a 1-0 margin. Of course, they did not win the entire thing, but certainly one of, if not the best years that DePaul softball had to offer. And Coach Jagielski wants to get this program back to where it once was. heart of the Midwest in Chicago, Illinois. 2 balls, 1 strike. Hager delivers, hit it at third. Strittmatter took a quick check to second, but got the guaranteed out at first with Addison Talbot running over there. So that is 2 away. For Carly Alvers, the third baseman. Senior. Lincoln Way Central High School, hailing out of Illinois. Something that is becoming a rare feat. Just staying with one program your entire collegiate career. And there are players on both teams who can say exactly that. And this is one of them, and Alvers at the plate. This season, Alvers hitting at .231. She has appeared in every game, started all but one this year. 30 hits on the campaign. Pitch spins off the plate. 3 straight balls issued by Sage Hager. Well, the wind feels nice today. There have been some other games this year where it was not welcome. Here it comes. That's a strike. Alvers threw the bat away, thought it was ball 4. So now she has to instantly change the mindset as Hager stays around in this. Runner at second base. As Kelly Beaupre reached on a hard hit single to second base. And that one is ball 4. First walk given up by Sage Hager. And Bibiana Rodriguez, the shortstop, is next. The junior. Second season with the Blue Demons. Last year had 44 starts. And this year, now 40. It's a really reliable glove at shortstop or wherever they may need her to play. Pitch comes. Popped up infield. Reb Hand sprinting in and concludes the inning. So 2 stranded. We'll head to the home half of the second, no score. The Hoyas will send up 4-5-6 now. Sammy Fenton playing in her final collegiate game. Transferring in from Penn. Hailing from Ventura, California. Fenton stares in at strike 1. Fenton this year, well, she's put up a pretty solid season. Not as good as you can do in a season up to her standards. She has seen a lot of good seasons over at Penn. and brought a lot of that same juice here. 257 average, 27 hits, 1 homer, and really saw a decent run of play. This one is towering foul. Saw a decent run of play at the beginning of April. She had a 7-game hit streak, and that was about the time that she switched into this 4th spot. She was batting a little bit further down in the lineup. She got here, started seeing the ball better. Backhander, and Fenton slides into first base. She's safe. Leadoff batter on. And obviously, you're going to see a lot of players just laying it all out there, as there is nothing they got to protect themselves from. There's no more games. So that's what sets up just a fascinating day, doesn't it? The first hit given up by Niji today. Holly Pardini, now the catcher, batting 5th. Here's how the defense looks for DePaul, with Zoe Levine behind the plate. Kelly Beaupre at first. And pulled back for ball 2. Bailey Cosgrove playing at second base. Carly Alvers at third. Bibiana Rodriguez at short. Addison Talbot in left. Morgan Rogers center. Chelsea Parker over and right. Pitch coming. Chopper. Foul. Adds the first strike of the at-bat to Pardini, the sophomore catcher from California. Hitting .208 this year with 21 hits. Foul ball. And she has gotten the appearance in all but about 3 this season. And she's been hitting pretty decently as of late. There aren't too many games without a hit since really the start of April. Just 6 games since the start of April without a hit. She's always figured out something. However, every one of those games is only 1 hit, as she is retired for the first out. It's been only kept to 1 hit. She does not have any multi-hit games in that stretch. Abby Kozo, the first baseman, now batting 6th. Now she has played mostly first base this season. Has seen some DP, has seen pitching too, but not as frequently as Hager and Wismar and Dunn this season. Bocozo's batting average, 3rd best on the team at .291. Been very, very solid. 34 hits. It's a ball. That being said, she has had 3 straight games of going 0 for 3. She started up her own 4-game hit streak, her Towson and then the Providence series, but not much since then. Foul ball. So the thing about this Georgetown team, folks, and obviously we're highlighting the seniors today, but a lot of the stars of this team are sophomores. Some youngsters who are ready to go, as there's a strike 3 swinging for Kozo. And it brings up Naya Campos. So you think about the youngsters on this team who would be potentially coming back next year. Kozo, the one who just struck out, Emily Strittmatter, Holly Pardini, Brooke Rebhan. There goes the runner to second. Fenton gets in safely, but stays at second. And then other additions like Claire Turner, who's still a junior. Naya Campos, the batter, who is a junior. And then your freshmen like your Danny Koo. Nina Sarlo as well. So there's a lot of this team that should be back next year. And you can only think of the potential progression for some of these players who who really added an excellent touch to this entire season. 2-1. Runner at second is Fenton. After singling. Nidji trying to keep it to that. And a 3-1 count. Campos with a good eye here. Gabby Park is on deck. She's also a potential returner. As the junior. Throws in. Ball 4. First walk allowed. Here comes Gabby Park. Beautiful opportunity for her. And she has just 12 RBIs this season, but hasn't missed many. Just about one game this year, looking for her 30th hit of the season. She's also looking for her first hit since April 25th against UConn. And that was her last straight game of a hit. 6-game hit streak in that time. Well, every one of these players for the Hoyas have had just a good stretch this season. Two-0 coming. The breaker, which lands in for strike one. Wind up and the delivery. Hit it short. It's Rodriguez, and the inning is concluded. We'll head to the third. Both teams stranding runners, but scoreless. So DePaul will see 9-1-2. Zoe Levine, the catcher, the last one to bat for these Blue Demons, as that's a foul ball for strike one. New pitcher out there is Avery Wismar for the Hoyas. So Hager throws 2 innings, does not allow a run, just a couple of base runners. It looks like Coach Ross just trying to get all the seniors in on this final day of the season. Chopper, it's fair. It was Strittmatter who chased it down and thought she could make the play, but the ball fell out of her hands. And so, first batter is on that Wismar sees. And Bailey Crosgrove lines back in. She is 0 for 1. She flew out to center to start this game. And is swinging quickly there. A runner at first is Alexis Hogue, the junior from Collins, Iowa. Let's see what she's able to do here. One ball, one strike. Wismar deals in, and it hit her. Now Cosgrove off to first. And runners at first and second for Morgan Rogers. And this DePaul team threatening in inning number 3. First time seeing Wismar today. Popped up and into the concourse. Look out. Always got to be ready out there. This DePaul team had 13 wins in non-conference action. And we're 13-11 outside of conference as the ball gets away, but Pardini recovers, and she tags out Hogue at third. As we mentioned, that's something that Pardini is really good at. She has caught 11 runners stealing, and now 12, so you could say that it's first in the conference. And time is called. Will allow the third base umpire to meander back to second. The runner at first still Bailey Cosgrove, who stayed over there, so that is the first out of this inning. Pardini using her excellent throwing ability behind the plate. Bounced in. Look at this opportunity. And now caught in a pickle is Cosgrove, and she gets back safely. Fenton was just trying to chase her, and Cosgrove, she knows she's awfully lucky. She was caught in no man's land, and it nearly cost them. But still a runner at first. Rogers, a lot's gone on in her at bat. And look out! Holy moly. That was not far away from striking a pedestrian. And everybody's okay, though. 2-2. Pitch comes in. Rogers also elevates this one. It's tight to the line. And Sarlo tracks it. Out number 2. Now Rogers got some good swings in that at bat. Lydia Edema, the DP, who grounded out to short in the first inning. Pitch coming, and just off the plate. Now Edema, sophomore from Iowa. 29 games last season, 12 starts. It's been really impressive to see the growth in her game, as this season batting over 300. Sometimes you just gotta get used to the college game and things just start clicking for you, and that's what's happened for her this year. It's been one of the more consistent batters for the Blue Demons. One ball and one strike. Moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. This Saturday now afternoon in Washington, D.C. And DePaul taking advantage of all this, doing some sightseeing for their final weekend of the year. How can you not? Something that a lot of opposition teams do here. 3-1. Oh, it's a strike, just inside. And a couple of those that have been kept in. Home plate umpire Brian Bouchy. First base Joseph Kupka. Third base Stephen Baden. 3-2. Swung on and missed. Throw to second, but it doesn't matter. It's the third out anyways. That is all for the top of the third. Wismar gets out of it, stranding a few. Georgetown will bat in the home half of the third coming up next. Bottom of the third, Nina Sarlo leading off for the Hoyas. Strike one from Bella Nidji. Nina Sarlo, there's a little bit of excitement in the way that she plays. Certainly her arm out in left field. But the at-bats, you're seeing more patience, but this one's popped up. And it's recorded as out number one. It's the pop out to Alvers. And back to the top for Claire Turner, who has really emerged as one of the leaders of this team and has done so really these last couple of seasons. Had a freshman year that created some buzz. Now in year one for Turner, you saw just the possibilities as she started 46 of 47. And had a 272 average. Then last year elevated it even more, her career. All Big East second team selection. Second on the team in batting average at 297. And yet again this season you see the importance of her. 273 this year, 33 hits. Remember, she had missed a brief few games after a collision with the outfield wall. And they really did miss her as she towers this one into left. It's carrying back and back. And Talbot, after readjusting her body a couple times, secures the second. Brooke Rebhan, second baseman, popped out to third in inning number one. Second on the team. One of two batters batting over 300 this season, and she wants to keep it that way. If she can play her cards right today. Bunted, and Alvers was already charging in, but then had to recontort towards the line. It's just a loud strike one. Rebhan, 11 RBIs this year, had a homer in the Towson game. Strike two. And yesterday in game two went 2 for 4. Seen a lot of good runs from her as well this season. Again, one of the more consistent batters there. Just her second campaign. 0-2. And Nidji trying to go at her. Didn't miss by too much. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strip matter is on deck if they can get to her. Oh, that is... Oh! It was a really good pitch. But somehow ball 2. Everybody was halfway off. That is filthy. Try it again. Foul ball. Wow. That hung and fell in. That shows the talent level of some of these pitchers, man. Incredible. 2-2. Swung on and missed. She gets the strikeout anyways. 1-2-3 for Niji. Off to the fourth. No score, DePaul and Georgetown. This game meanders to the fourth inning. For DePaul, it's Chelsea Parker, the right fielder, struck out in the second inning. As Wismar steps in for inning number 2 of work. Her 25th appearance of the season. She's been perhaps one of, if not the best pitchers on this team this year. At least when it comes to ERA, a 4.89, 53 innings, 34 strikeouts, and she has the lone conference win for Georgetown this season. Their shutout win against the Providence Friars. Still remember that game, just the excitement that all of them had, and Wismar dealing perhaps the best game of her career. Senior from Brentwood, Tennessee. Well, you know, Wismar, so good in high school over there at Ravenwood. Of course, in this game of softball, you wait for the sign and then you deliver the pitch. That's some contact, but foul. Like either relayed to the pitcher themselves or relayed to the catcher who sends it to the circle. Well, Wismar, like doing it herself. There's a ground ball into the gap into right field. Single for Parker. Leadoff batter on. Kelly Beaupre is up. But Wismar, not too long into her high school career, took it upon herself to start calling her own pitches. She knew she could read the batters well, got a lot of swings and misses. Knew how to adjust even in at-bats. Bunt laid down, Strittmatter quick to close. A 5-4 put out on the sacrifice bunt. Those are just so well executed, both from a batter standpoint and from a fielder standpoint. When you see that bunt laid down, again, because of how tight the base paths are in collegiate softball, or just softball in general, you have to be ready at every moment. This is Addison Talbot, who grounded out to third in the second inning. Everybody is moving. When that bat is thrown down, you see corners go in, you see the middle infielders adjusting to the bag. And it's just a mad dash wherever that ball may have been placed. Oh, 0-2. Foul ball. Well, right at the screen. Especially at third base. That is just one of the toughest positions in this sport. You don't have any time to think about it. You just got to be ready. 0-2, swung on and missed. Beautiful pitch by Wismar on the breaker. 2 retired. It's Carly Alvers who walked in the second. And this year's been a good campaign. Career high 7 doubles this season for her. Ripped at short. Fenton gloves. Didn't have to move much. 1 runner stranded. Home half of the 4th is next from Washington, D.C. Emily Strittmatter for Georgetown for this 4th inning. Happy you're with us for one final game this season. Strittmatter hits it into left field as it rolls to the wall. Into second base, standing up. You can see the enthusiasm as Strittmatter tries to jumpstart her offense. Sammy Fenton singled in the second. She is the only other hit allowed by Bella Nidji today. First one is ball 1. For Strittmatter, that is her 8th double of the season, tied for team best with Gabby Park. In the air, and it's the second baseman in Cosgrove ranging into foul territory. A lot of those, you give priority to the middle infielders. They can see it a little bit better off the bat. Ali Pardini, the batter, the catcher for Georgetown. Here in this 5 spot, struck out in the second inning. And has an opportunity with a runner at second base. So leadoff double. Hoyas would love to work her around. Hit into left field. It's a base hit. Here comes Strittmatter. Throw to the plate. She's safe. Pardini with an RBI. Hoyas have the lead. Coach Ross had that green light on really early. She knew the play was going to be tight, but she understood that Strittmatter would have the opportunity, and she indeed delivers. And so Pardini now with an RBI. Her 15th of the season, ripped into the gap again. Pardini didn't get a huge jump, so she stays at third. Kozo singles. Line is moving for the Hoyas in the bottom of the 4th. Time called. Coach Liz Bokjagelski out to talk to Nidji as the last 3 of 4 batters have all gotten hits for the Hoyas. wants to make sure that her side stays locked in and they keep it to just one run, as there is just a little more stirring in the bullpen for DePaul. For Georgetown, that's just the fourth run of this series that they've scored.
At bat, number 24, Naya Campos.
Just one run in the first game yesterday, two in the second. And now have the lead. Naya Campos, the DP, walked last time up. You know she's got one thought, and it's to get in Pardini from third. No matter how it goes down, she's been known to clear the fences. She threw a bunt down, and that does allow Kozo to sprint to second. This season sees Campos with 6 home runs, second best on the team, behind Emily Strittmatter. Ooh, a good hold. It didn't miss by much. The most recent home run hit by Campos was the first game of the doubleheader against Providence on the 17th of April. 1-2. Moves to 2-2. Now 2 RBI opportunities there. And maybe a third if you can add Campos to the mix at the plate. 2-2. Campos, wow, another excellent hold. She's been laying off some of these tight ones. And the infield gathers around Niji. Try and give a little bit of motivation here to the junior from Iowa, who has usually had some really good performances against the Hoyas. Set a career high of 7 strikeouts against Georgetown last season. She also got her first ever collegiate save against the Hoyas, but then yesterday reset her career high with 9 strikeouts against Georgetown. Payoff pitch coming, and Campos stays alive. And a treat to have you with us today. This final senior day, and finally some nice weather this weekend. After some pretty brutal games. There was that wind game against Towson. There have been some rain games. Now this is what you play for. Hit it short. Oh, it's off of Rodriguez. A run crosses. 2-0 Georgetown.
Another Georgetown run. At the plate.
Well, Campos has been known to have some incredible power, and it's the power that does the job. Sometimes you just got to put it in play. You just don't know what's going to happen. Popped up infield. This could be tough, but ranging is Alvers for the second out. A big out to retire Park. The runners at first and second. Now 2 away. 2-0 for Georgetown. That is listed as a hit, by the way. Too hot to handle for Rodriguez. And you can understand just the way that Campos swings the bat. Ina Sarlo popped out to third last inning, and she's up again. Shallow and into foul territory. It's Beaupre. That concludes the inning, but the Hoyas hit for 2. Let's go to the 5th. Hoyas 2-run lead. Bibi Rodriguez leading off the 5th inning for DePaul. And new pitcher for the Hoyas, it's Kayla Dunn to potentially close off the season. So the other two senior pitchers honored today. Hager started the game through 2 scoreless. Wismar through the 3rd and the 4th, 2 scoreless. And the ball given to Kayla Dunn. Foul ball down the 3rd base line. And Dunn to potentially close it all out. And she has been the one this season who has been given a lot of good looks. The most starts on this team with 20, and the most innings as well at 103. A 5.57 ERA, 67 strikeouts, also best on the team as that elevates on Rodriguez. Kayla Dunn is 5th all-time in Georgetown history for wins, innings pitched, and strikeouts as well. So she finds herself in the record books after this really excellent career. The 1-2, swung on and missed. Rodriguez retired for the 2nd time today. First strikeout for Dunn.
Next at bat, Zoe Levine.
Zoe Levine, the catcher, re-entering and batting here. And a foul ball. It was Hogue who had the opportunity in the 3rd inning. Levine back in here, the freshman from Riverside, Illinois. Had a hit in game 1 yesterday. 26th hit of the season. Pitch comes in as it winds away. Over Riverside Brookfield High School, 4-time All-Conference selection, 3-time All-Area. First team All-State as well, and Conference Player of the Year as a senior. Popped up behind the plate, Pardini, and it lands on the tent. Levine, it extends beyond that for her. She also set school records for career batting average, for career home runs, and career doubles. 1 ball, 2 strikes from Dunn to Levine. Slides out. 2-2. The Hoyas offense doing what they've needed to do so far. Pushing 2 runs through in the bottom of the 4th. Swung on and missed. Check to first, completed. 2 away. Couple strikeouts for Dunn. Only just continues to elevate her overall total in her career. Bailey Cosgrove, the 2nd baseman. It's the last chance in this 5th inning for the Blue Demons. Pitch on the way, ball 1. Well, obviously these 2 teams, they're done for the regular season after this game. Both are not making the postseason. It's a top 6 in this conference who make the playoffs. There's a strike. So right now, those top 6 belong to UConn, St. John's, Creighton, Villanova, Butler, and the final spot up for grabs between Seton Hall and Providence. Works for ball 2. Both of those 2 teams are sitting at 11 and 11. And it will come down to just the last outs for their seasons. You know, one will be really heartbroken and the other will be filled with jubilation. They are not playing one another, as Seton Hall are playing Creighton. Providence are playing Villanova. Well, certainly something to look out for here in this conference. Oh, and there's a called strike 3, or strike 2 on Cosgrove. The home plate umpire punched her out, and the count is still alive. And the home plate umpire comes out here and looks like he issues a warning. And so Coach Jagelski speaking with the home plate umpire. Oh, it's a full count to Cosgrove. Waits to Cosgrove, makes some contact, hit to short, Fenton in stride. They're out of the fifth. They look to add more. Hoyas in the bottom half, 2-0. Home half of the fifth, senior day for Georgetown, as they're looking to win one final game for their seniors who have put in so much work over the years. Claire Turner for this fifth inning looks at strike one. Whether it be spending all 4 years here or maybe even longer, or transferring in. It is a group who have put their heart and soul into this team. A blooper into right center. Turner has her first hit of the game.
Next at bat, number 23,
Brooke Rebhan is 0 for 2. Just seeing the ball a little bit better right now, Georgetown. They're in this fifth inning. They look to tack on more. A leadoff single for Turner will help the cause for sure. Bunt laid down. Oh, it's fair. Rebhan was also close. Holy moly. It's a collision at the first base bag. Her and Cosgrove. And Rebhan has stayed down. The legs got caught. Obviously not intentional. Just kind of ran into each other. It was a tough play over at first. Looks to be that Cosgrove is okay. Coach Ross to check on her star second baseman as well, who has meant so much this season. It was just a clattering together of legs, and it just really was a tough play. From how hard Rebhan was running to how quickly Cosgrove had sprinted over to first base. Now Coach Ross has maneuvered to the home plate umpire as it's like some changes might need to be made as Rebhan is helped up. Is trying to put weight on that left leg. Isn't able to do too much. Oh, you just feel your heart break for that. As Rebhan, the sophomore from Miami, will, in the last game of the season, go down with a knock. And she'll be tended to by her fellow teammates and the trainers as well. So Turner, out of all of that, standing at first base. So I believe after all of that, it was just ruled as a foul ball. So now pinch hitting for Georgetown is Danny Koo, and gets this 0-1 count. After all of that, that just was a little more insult to injury. And it gives Koo an opportunity. And she tries to do the same thing. Fouls it back for strike two. Of course, hope that she is okay, Rebhan. Just a nasty collision there at first base. 0-2 to Danny Koo now in this position. Swung on and missed. So the thing about Danny Koo is she was already given a strike, so she didn't have the full at-bat to adjust to what Nidji was throwing. Emily Strittmatter with Turner standing at first base and one out, trying to pick up her teammate in Brooke Rebhan. And the breaker lands for the opening strike, 0-1. Strittmatter doubled, scored a run in the fourth inning. Pitch comes in, and looking for the pitch out as Turner was lingering, thinking about going to second. They are concerned about her over at first, and you understand why. Leading the team in stolen bases this season. Ace is wild. That's a strike. The Strittmatter had a home run yesterday. Good for her 9th home run of the season. Team best. 1-2. Ripped at the screen. Nidji trying to keep the Hoyas to just those 2 runs. And searching for that exit route out of this 5th inning. Wind up and the delivery. Waited on it. Foul away, Strittmatter. And into the next door Little League field. 1-2. Strittmatter, who could do so many different things at the plate, full of good ideas. There goes Turner to second. She's in. Two and two. One out, so that takes the double play out of the conversation. Nidji delivers, ripped hard into left. Turner also given the green light. Here comes the throw, she makes it in. Strittmatter RBI double. 3-0.
Next at bat for the Hoyas, shortstop Sammy Benton.
That was exactly the player you wanted on the base paths if you were the Hoyas. Turner as really the speediest player on this team. That's why she stole second, just to set up that opportunity, which they now capitalize on. Strittmatter also a team best in RBIs, 29 this season. Sammy Fenton adding her first strike to the count. Fenton over at Penn, 132 games over there, 97 hits. Last season saw a career-high 40 hits for her. This year dropped to about 27, but still very important. It was not a great Penn team, by the way. Went 11-29 last year. 2-1. Fly ball into shallow center. Cosgrove racing out and makes the grab in front of the center fielder. She'll try to throw it to third. Tagging up was Strittmatter. And it's a 4-5 double play. A risky moment that goes to cost the Hoyas, but they get a run. This game marches to the 6th. 3-0 Georgetown. Pinch hitter for DePaul in this top of the 6th inning, as they're desperate to try and get a run, as that hits the pinch hitter in Kaylee Blunt, the redshirt sophomore, as she will walk to first. And actually they're gonna, well, now there's a little bit of confusion out there. So they initially called that she was hit, but again, the bunt was kind of thrown around. So usually when you're swinging on that, if you swing it, it hits you, that's still a strike. And that's what the umpires are going to convene about. By the way, Morgan Rogers be back out there to run. And so that's indeed what's going to happen, is they wave it back here. And actually, it will be the batter in Blunt who will receive the bat again, as she was the pinch hitter. So it is Coach Jagielski who is now talking with the home plate umpire, and initially called the runner to first, but instead it is just a strike, as Blunt now gets another opportunity and rips it off the glove of Fenton. So she's into first base anyways. Leadoff single. Now that was a hit and a half, wasn't it? So now re-entering is Rogers to run at first, who was 0 for 2. So just a little bit more for Blunt to do. Had a run to first. After getting pinged a little bit. And records the hit anyways. And this is the last game of the season, so you're seeing a handful of changes out there. Edema takes a look at ball one. 0 for 2, ground out to short and a strikeout swinging in the third. As Kayla Dunn is working into her second inning. Coach Ross throwing all seniors today. La Jolla's #1 objective today, obviously to win, but to win for the seniors. And so far, 2 seniors down through the pitching rotation. They've all thrown scoreless frames. Dunn trying to do the same and gets the rise pitch to be bit at by Edema. Two balls, one strike. Popped up. Third base, Strittmatter, it's tight. And behind the DePaul dugout. Levels up the count at 2 apiece. No outs in this top of the 6th. This sunny day in Washington, D.C., where some rain ends up coming in these next handful of days. 2-2. Oh, an unbelievable pitch by Dunn. Called strike 3. Buckled the knees. Every out, every strikeout just only motivates every one of these pitchers just a little bit more. Chelsea Parker, who singled in the 4th inning. Batting with a runner at first. Parker, the freshman from West Lafayette, Indiana. Had a hit in game 1 yesterday, scored a run as well. 12 knocks on the season. 1-0. And slid in on her, but below the knees. Well, Kayla Dunn, I've talked about just the impact she's had here, but she played softball since the age of 10. You do see some other players start a little bit earlier than that. And that's when she realized her love for the game. She was always somebody who was a weightlifter. You know, by the age of 6, she was already doing that and really enjoyed fitness. A blooper, left side, fence it, oh, just out of her glove. Beyond her diving reach. And so the next batter on with Parker. And the Blue Demons are knocking on the door in this top of the 6th. It's Kelly Beaupre. Strike 1 called to her. So, remember with Brooke Rebhan, with the injury taken out of this game, into left field goes Danny Koo. And to second base goes Nina Sarlo. Dunn delivers. 1-1. Well, to continue the story about Dunn, again, was lifting weights at the age of 6 already and really working on that strength. And so she wanted to pursue softball, started pitching. And really, she went to that field very early. She got hit in the face. And after that day, she knew 2 things. This pitch comes in, foul away. Knew 2 things. 1, wear a mask, which she does now. And secondly, she knew that she loved the game of softball. And it kind of continued from there. She's got a really great relationship with her father as they would practice the game of softball. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. 2 outs. And it's Addison Talbot. In fact, her father would have a nickname for Kayla. you call her lobster just because one forearm is bigger than the other. That is a usual known thing about lobsters, where one claw bigger than the other. That is the right arm of Kayla Dunn, which has so much strength in it, and that's been very apparent in her entire career here in DC. It's a mound visit by Pardini. 1-0. Madison Talbot is 0 for 2 today, a ground out and a strikeout. She's batting with runners at first and second. Dunn throws in, delivers a strike. She's wasted no time trying to go at these DePaul batters who trying to get their first run of the game after winning games 1 and 2 of the series yesterday. Hoya is trying to close off the final game of the season and doing something that not many teams can say they do. Most teams have their season ended by a loss. Since both of these two teams are out of the postseason, they could have the rare distinction of ending the season with a win. Popped up to Fenton. Range is over. Collects the out. Hoya's looking for insurance. Bottom 6 coming up next. 3-0. New pitcher for DePaul in the 6th inning. They try to keep the Hoyas to 3 runs. Ava Gusel, 21st appearance this season, through 2 2/3 yesterday, just 1 hit. And trying to keep the Hoyas here in first pitch. Ripped into right by Pardini, who's got her 2nd hit of the game. She is trying to do it for the seniors. Abby Kozo singled in the 4th. Struck out swinging in the 2nd. Kozo, the sophomore from New Jersey, standing at 6 feet even. Gusel this season, 6.61 ERA. 36 innings pitched, has 12 strikeouts on the season. And a strike there. As a freshman in high school and playing U16 and other club softball, there was a common theme for her. Pitch comes in, 2-1. The common theme was she would start as the number 3 pitcher in the rotation and would, by the end of the season, jump up to the number 1 pitcher. And that's happened at a lot of different levels that she has pitched at. This season, of course, it's been hard to dethrone Bella Nidji. It's been really strong this season. But Goosel's got a really good career ahead of her. Slips away from the plate. There goes Pardini to second. She's safe. The pitch just got away from Levine. It was enough for Pardini to sprint towards second. Good future for her as this Georgetown starting catcher. It's one of the reasons why she worked her way over to DC. She knew she'd have a possibility to start. Played with Cal Nuggets, same club as Danny Koo and Claire Turner. Pardini had that great chat and dinner with Coach Conlon at the time. And she was just really excited with the idea of playing here at Georgetown. Kozo swings and misses, first out of the 6th. Kayla Dunn is going to bat for Nia Campos. Have to stop everything and take a look. As Kayla Dunn is a good hitter, but she has not had a single at-bat this entire season. Last year saw Kayla Dunn batting a good handful of times. As last year she ended up finishing the campaign as this one is grounded at short. Throw it at first in time, but the runner is advanced. Dunn had 6 hits last season, hit 146, but uses everything to her advantage with the 6-3 ground out to move the runner over. In 2023, and saw Kayla Dunn as really her best hitting season, 34 hits, 281 average, so very much a part of her career, but these last few seasons has been focused more on the pitching aspect. Gabby Park batting with a 2-0 count, runner at third. So just a nice, productive out for Dunn in her final game. That's the ability in this sport. You can throw players in, take them out. Obviously, once you're fully taken out, then you are out. But you can slide in and do what Dunn just did. 2 balls, 1 strike. And a whiff makes it strike 2. Gusel just trying to get out of this inning. Runner standing 60 feet away in this bottom of the 6th. Gusel throwing in, rising up to make it full. This game has just been hard to look away from, just so much emotion. The final game of the season. Both teams just urgent to win one final game to conclude their season on a good note. Payoff pitch into left and hooking foul. So they will do this again. 3-2. And the Georgetown dugout showing some support for Park. 0 for 2 today. And it comes, ball 4. And Nina Sarlo, who was the potential batter, is now being pinch hit for by Maggie Howard, who has just 1 hit in her entire career, and that was against Creighton on April 6th. Highly touted coming in out of high school. 2024 All-County selection. First team All-State 6A outfielder. First team WPIAL All-Section outfielder too. This has been a season just to get her acclimated. We'll see what the future holds for her. On a Greensburg, PA, a chopper towards second base. Cosgrove lost her footing, but did enough to record the out. All right, potential last half inning coming up. Kayla Dunn looking to close out her final game and the seniors' final game. Coming up next. You can see one final tight huddle between both the infielders and outfielders. Circling around Kayla Dunn as she throws her final pitches of her Georgetown career. And it'll go 7-8-9 for the DePaul Blue Demons in this top of the 7th inning. Hoyas looking for their second conference win. First pitch swinging at, grounded to Fenton, 1 out. No extra base hits in this game for DePaul. They've all been some sporadic singles. And they have not been able to capitalize. They've been a couple times leaving runners on. Baby Rodriguez, the next batter, popped up foul. Now, Coach Ross and this Georgetown team had an idea coming in. Final day of the season, senior day. Day with all the parents for these players who have put in so much. But because there are 3 senior pitchers, of course there is 4 with Julia Parker, but I got to give her a shout out for just the amount of hours that she put in as a part of this program and everything that she has done. She has not appeared since mid-March, so she has just not been available to throw, but the rest of these pitchers who were honored today of Hager and Wismar and Dunn, they wanted to go out with some scoreless outings. Hager's already done so. Wismar's already done so. Dunn trying to do it. This is hit into the left, and it bounces off a coup and rolls towards the foul line. And a double belonging to the Blue Demons and Rodriguez, who stay alive here. First extra base hit of the game, and Koo is okay. Brooke Swick is pinch hitting in the 9 spot. Sophomore from Park Ridge, Illinois. Swings and misses at the first one. Again, as we were mentioning, the goal, of course, today was to go out in good style for the seniors. Georgetown are 2 outs away from doing that. Swick looks at ball 1. Swick, this is just her, this is her 40th game of the season. Sees a handful of pinch hit at bats in her season. Very versatile player. Has 12 hits this year. 1-2. Dunn throws in, foul ball. Of course, senior day is already a day to remember, but can add a little bit more on top of it if the Hoyas can hold on. Just to go out remembering that you won in your final game, something that not many players can say. 1-2 from Dunn. Rises up on Swick, who does not bite. 2-2. 1 out in this top of the 7th inning. Runner at second base is Rodriguez with the double. Ball 3. Swick turning this into a really nice at-bat. Eight hits to 6 for the Hoyas. Dunn delivers. Called! Strike 3! 2 down! That is already Dunn's 5th strikeout, and this is only her 3rd inning of work. And the last batter she looks at is Bailey Cosgrove. Hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning. 0 for 2. Foul ball. Hoyas have only one other conference win this season. It was a shutout against Providence. Avery Wismar went the entire distance. All 3 active pitching seniors looking to add into another pitching shutout. Oh, and it hit Cosgrove again. So she will try to hobble off over at first base. She is the senior too. You can only think about all the hours that she's put into. 119 hits in her entire career, and this has been the best so far of her career with 48 hits. First time in her career over 300. Pitch comes in for Dunn. Strike 1. It's Addie Burdick, the freshman, playing in her 30th game off the bench this season, 31st of the season. And could this be the last one that Kayla Dunn tries to put away? Pinch hitting in the Morgan Rogers spot. The number 2 hole. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Dunn looking to put this away. 2 runners on, 2 outs, top 7. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Season still around. 2-2. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out for Kayla Dunn. Against Burdick. Here it comes. Moves to 3. Adding a little bit of drama and thought to these final deliveries. Dunn reminding the infield the scenario. Time called. They'll reset here. Dunn delivers. Foul ball. Hanging around here. By the way, Burdick represents the tying run. She's looking for her first hit since tax day against UConn. 3-2. Pitch comes in, another foul ball. Well, the softball gods don't want Dunn's season to end just yet. Could this be it? Dunn goes home. Foul ball. Incredible. How about Burdick here? The young freshman battling and battling. Keeping this game around as long as possible. Dunn goes home. Ball 4. What an at-bat that turned out to be for Burdick. Bases are loaded. 2 outs. And it sends the go-ahead run to the plate. And time called to talk to Dunn, as this final out has been very hard to come by. Lydia Edema, who is 0 for 3, but been one of the best batters this season for the Blue Demons. And potentially comes down to her. Force out at any bag. First delivery, foul ball. Can only sit and think about that last at-bat by Burdick. It was really remarkable. Refused to go down. Anything close, she was swinging at. Dunn delivers the next one. Strike 2. She can go nearly anywhere with this, but has to be careful with the runner at third in Rodriguez. Dunn trying to help pitch the shutout. Rising up, 1-2. It's the last game of the year, but it's oh so tense. Just what's all on the table. Dunn, 1-2, foul ball. Credit to these Blue Demons. They don't want their season to end either, as they are also battling for these seniors. .3-0 for Georgetown. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A grounder at third. Strittmatter at first. The Hoyas win on the final day. And all 3 seniors helping pitch a shutout. 3-0 final score on senior day.
We'd like to take the time to extend our deepest thanks to the Georgetown softball student athletes for their dedication, resilience, and heart throughout the year.
And you can tell just all the emotion there inside the circle for these seniors who have meant so much to this program. And you could see Kayla Dunn at the back of that line. All the emotions and all the work and all the pitches she's thrown, was able to deliver that final out on the last day of the year. And the Hoyas go out in the win column. All 3 seniors in Hager, in Wismar, and Dunn, all combining for their second shutout of conference play this season. Second conference win. Both of those happening at home, and lots of hugs for the seniors, including for the DePaul seniors, who have just meant as much to their programs as the Georgetown seniors have to theirs. In the end, the Hoyas win on the final day. DePaul won 2 games yesterday as a send-out for those seniors. But this one was Georgetown's 3-0 final score. And it's always bittersweet. You know, it's the end of the season. You can only just think about how the entire season went along. Georgetown good in non-conference. Big East play, of course, wasn't the greatest, and they will be first to admit that. But they went out in the way that they knew how to. One final day for the seniors and a 3-0 final score. Shout out to all of you watching this entire season here on YouTube. It's been an honor to cover things this season here at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. For Mr. Raph Swanes, who's been running camera and our producer job this season. It's been fantastic. Once again, thanks to all of you watching. I'm Christian Taylor saying so long for one final time here in this first weekend in May. Final score on senior day, Georgetown win 3-0 against DePaul. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.